My wife said, "Love beats paper." I replied, "Our prenup stands in court." Then I scanned the prenup, pulled call logs, froze her card, moved Paycheck, hired Counsel, and served papers, and I smiled because neighbor's spouse walked in with proof. Original post: I am 34, male. My wife Catherine is 33. We had been together 9 years, married for 6. No kids. Just a small craftsman house on a quiet street, a grill on the back deck, and neighbors who waved when they took out their trash. I work as a project manager for a mid-sized construction firm. Early mornings, paperwork, calls. It is not glamorous, but it pays well, and I am home most nights. Catherine worked from home as a freelance interior stylist. She posted mood boards and before/after photos. Her clients were usually neighbors and friends of friends. Life looked tidy from the outside. We signed a prenup before we married. It was my idea. I had seen 2 divorces in my family go bad. I asked for clean terms. Separate property stays separate. No alimony unless we both agreed. There was also one odd line my lawyer pushed for after a long talk, a fidelity clause. If either spouse committed adultery, that spouse waived any claim to spousal support, and certain joint assets reverted to the non-offending spouse. We both had counsel. We both signed. Then we put it in a drawer and did not think about it for years. Trouble did not show up with fireworks. It came as small edits to routine. Catherine started running samples to a neighbor on the next block, David. He was married to a woman named Erin. He worked in finance. I met them at a block party once. Nice enough. He and Catherine talked about a someday full home refresh. He liked her taste, he said. Catherine's phone lived face down more often. She said she was protecting client privacy. She began to take late evening walks to clear her head, even after we had already walked after dinner. She wore a little more perfume than the weather needed. When she came back, she moved like she was still half in another room. I asked if she was okay. "Just busy," she said. "David's project is big, he wants it right." A week later, I found one key detail. It was small and plain. On a Saturday morning, I noticed a new travel mug on the counter, dark green. It had a small scratch by the handle in the shape of a crescent. I had seen the same scratch on David's mug when he waved to me one morning as he got into his car. I pointed at it. "Where did this come from?" I asked. Catherine did not look up from her phone. "Oh," she said, "samples day. David gave me coffee when I stopped by. I must have brought it home by accident." That might have been nothing, but it sat next to a receipt for a local boutique hotel bar from the night before, tucked under the fruit bowl. The time stamp said 9:48 p.m. The bartender's initials. 2 drinks that cost too much for a solo mood. I did not accuse. My body went still and my head went steady. I went to the home office, closed the door, and opened the drawer with the prenup. I took photos of every page and saved them to a flash drive. Then I logged into our cell plan and printed out the recent calls. A number I did not know showed up often between 9 and 11 at night, 3 or 4 times a week. I searched it. It matched David's work phone. I made a folder, prenup copy, call logs. Photo of the mug, screenshot of the hotel bar charge. That was my first action, not a fight. A file, update 1. I called my lawyer Monday morning, same lawyer who wrote the prenup. He remembered me. We met that afternoon in his small office with dusty law books. He read the clause again, tapped it with his pen, and nodded. "This is enforceable in our state," he said, "if you have proof of adultery, not suggestions, proof." "What counts?" I asked. 10 ways to show the same truth," he said. "Messages, photos, financial records. Anything that ties her to a sexual relationship with someone who is not you." "Neighbor," I said. "Married." He sighed in a way that said he had seen the shape of this 100 times. "Be calm," he said. "Do not confront until you have enough. Do not move out. Do not stop paying ordinary bills. Document. If you can, keep all communication in text once you confront." I left his office and drove past the boutique hotel on my way home. I parked a block away and walked by the lobby. It had a glass wall and a small bar visible from the sidewalk. I did not see Catherine. I did see David 2 nights later, seated by the window with a woman whose hair and profile I could map in my sleep. She had on a cream sweater and that perfume that used to live on our couch. I did not walk in. I took one clear photo from outside, faces, time stamp, reflections of cars, then I walked back to my truck and sat still until my hands stopped shaking. I confronted her the next night, not with anger but with the file. She came home early. I was at the kitchen table. The prenup copy sat on top. My lawyer had bookmarked the clause with a bright yellow tab. "How was your walk?" I asked. "Good," she said. "Quiet." "Was the hotel bar quiet too?" I asked. She froze. Then she laughed once and put a hand on her hip. "What is this?" she asked. "You are following me now?" "No," I said. "I ran an errand on the block. I saw you through glass. You were not alone." She looked at the file and saw the tab. She reached for it and read the clause. Her face changed in a slow way. She moved from insult to calculation in 2 breaths. "This is ridiculous," she said. "You know how many couples go through rough patches. We can fix this." "We will not fix this," I said. "We will end this. The prenup says adultery waives support and shifts certain assets. I have the photo, I have call logs, I will subpoena messages, I will not be cruel, but I will be done." She tried the softer route. "It was a mistake," she said. "It was emotional. He understands my work. You are always gone. I felt unseen." "You made choices," I said. "I saw them." She tried the sharp route. "You will never love anyone like I do," she said. "You will be alone with your little folder." "I will be fine with my little folder," I said, "and a clean end." I slid papers across the table, a draft petition for divorce. The prenup highlighted, a list of next steps. I had scheduled a notary at the bank to verify that the copy matched the original. I had a plan for a forensic download of her phone through Counsel. My voice stayed even. I did not yell. I did not call names. She looked at the papers and at me. She realized I was not bluffing. She knocked her knuckles on the table twice like she needed to wake up and then went upstairs without a word. I slept on the couch with the dog at my feet. In the morning, she left early. She did not say goodbye. Update 2, the fallout came fast and in patterns. Catherine went to people first. She called her sister. She called 2 friends who love a group chat. She said I was cold, that I was punishing her for having a career, that I had trapped her with a lawyer trick. She left out David. She left out the hotel. I did not post. I did not call. I sent one group text to the 2 friends who were already asking questions. "We are separating," I wrote. "I will not discuss details. Please leave me out of any gossip. We have a prenup and counsel." I moved money the boring way. I opened an account in my name only. My direct deposit went there. The joint account stayed for regular bills for now. I froze the authorized user card I had given Catherine months earlier. I printed a ledger of the joint account and my new account to show the court later that I was not hiding anything. I left the mortgage on autopay. Calm beats. David's wife, Erin, came to my door 3 days after the confrontation. She had a folded paper in her hand and eyes that looked like she had not slept. "Can we talk?" she asked. We sat on the front steps like 2 people stuck on opposite sides of the same screen door. "I found messages," she said. "I saw the hotel bill. I asked him and he said it was emotional. Then I saw the photo you took. Thank you for sending it to me through my sister. I know that was you." "I am sorry," I said. "I am calling a lawyer," she said. "If you need a statement later, I will give it." "Only if you want," I said. "I do not want to drag you through more." She nodded, folded the paper back up and said, "It is already more." Catherine tried social media next. She posted a black and white photo of her hands on a coffee cup with a caption about men who weaponize contracts and how love should be stronger than paper. Comments came from people who do not read fine print for a living. My phone lit up. I turned it over and went on with my day. My lawyer filed our petition citing the prenup and the adultery clause. We asked for a preservation order on her phone and devices. We requested messages, call logs, and any hotel invoices. We asked that the court validate the prenup, as both parties had counsel and fair disclosure at the time of signing. Her lawyer responded with a letter calling the prenup cruel and against public policy. He said we had grown beyond it and that she relied on the marriage to support her freelance work. He hinted that I had controlled finances. My lawyer sent back bank records showing her separate accounts, transfers I had made to support her business, and a signed disclosure from the prenup showing we both knew exactly what we were signing then. While the letters flew, I kept the peace at home. Catherine moved into the guest room. We cooked our own meals. We did not pretend. We spoke in short sentences about garbage day and mail. I did not engage in any other kind of talk. When she tried to goad me, "Are you happy, lawyer boy?" I checked the oven timer or took the dog outside. A week later, David moved out of his house. Aaron changed the locks. I watched a pickup arrive at dawn and two men carry 2 suitcases and a box of shoes. I felt nothing like joy. I felt the ground stop shifting under one foot. At the first hearing, the judge's hair was the exact color of gavel wood. He listened as both lawyers summarized the prenup and the claims. He asked 2 questions. Did each party have independent counsel when the agreement was signed? He asked. Yes, both lawyers said. Was there full disclosure of assets at the time? He asked. Yes, my lawyer said, handing over the signed schedules. He nodded. He issued a preliminary ruling that the prenup appeared valid and would be controlling unless evidence showed fraud or duress at signing. He set a date for a fuller hearing. He granted a preservation order for digital evidence. He told us to keep living like grown-ups. Catherine posted a photo of a sunset with a caption about the patriarchy. People hearted it. I took a screenshot and filed it under noise. Update 3, 2 months in, Catherine asked to meet. I agreed to a coffee shop in the morning. Daylight. Public. 1 hour. She came in wearing a sweater I bought her years ago that hurt in an old, small way. She sat with her hands wrapped around a cup. Can we find a middle? She asked. We built a life. We built a life, I said. You built a side life too. I know, she said. I made a mistake. You made a series, I said. The prenup says what it says. She leaned forward. David is nothing, she said. I do not even want him now. I panicked. I wanted attention. You always leave at 5 in the morning. You come home tired. I wanted to feel chosen. You were chosen, I said. You chose back, then you chose him. I cannot unchoose that. She blinked hard, her jaw set the way it does when she is about to push through pain. Please, she said, I am asking for a chance. I will sign anything else. Just not this, not the clause. I am not negotiating the prenup we both signed with lawyers in a calm room, I said. That was the chance to say no. She sat back, looked at the ceiling, and then at me again. You are colder than I thought, she said. I am calmer than I thought I could be, I said. That is different, I stood. We will talk through counsel, I said. We will not talk like this again. She did not stand. Fine, she said. See you in court. Final update, the hearing on the prenup came on a gray day that smelled like rain. The courtroom had bad art and a vent that whistled. Catherine sat with her lawyer. I sat with mine. Aaron sat behind me for the first hour, then left to pick up a delivery. David was not there. My lawyer laid out the timeline. The prenup with independent counsel. The clean disclosure pages from 6 years ago. The fidelity clause we both had read and initialed. The messages in evidence now, pulled from her phone, where Catherine and David made plans and joked about neighbors' night out in texts that did not know they would ever be read under fluorescent lights. Her lawyer argued that the clause was punitive. He said it violated public policy. He said I was weaponizing paper to hurt a woman who built my home. He asked the court to toss the clause. The judge listened, tapped his pen, and spoke in a voice that could cut paper. Enforceable prenuptial agreements are contracts entered freely with counsel, he said. This one contains a fidelity clause linked to financial consequences. The court does not reward deceit. The clause stands. He denied any claim to spousal support. He awarded the house to me as separate property funded mainly with my premarital assets per the agreement. Joint savings, modest as they were, split evenly. Retirement accounts stayed with their owners. Each paid their own legal fees. Outside the courtroom, Catherine did not look at me. Her lawyer talked fast. My lawyer told me to take a breath and to go home by a different route, just in case. We signed the final decree 3 weeks later. I carried one box of her things to the curb the day her brother came with a truck. He nodded, I nodded. We did not talk about anything else. The neighborhood adjusted. Aaron planted herbs and waved more. David moved to a rental across town. People who like gossip found other meals. For a long time I thought I would feel triumph. I did not. I felt something quieter, space. My house sounded like my house again. The dog slept across the doorway like a log. I started working later at the gym. I fixed the gate I had been ignoring. I learned to make a decent omelet. I slept. The kind of sleep where you wake up because the day is ready, not because the night is loud. I dated a little, nothing heavy. I told the truth early. I am divorced. There was a prenup. It mattered. Some people winced. Some nodded. One woman said, smart, and asked about my dog. A year after the decree, an email arrived from Catherine. Subject line, I am sorry. The body was not long. She said she had started therapy. She said she had been telling stories to herself for years and then to me. She said she did not want anything from me except to say she was wrong and she hoped I was well. I read it twice. I did not feel heat. I felt air pass through a room that used to be hard to breathe in. I replied with one line. Thank you, I wrote. I hope you are well too. I did not invite more. People ask where the revenge is. It was not a grand scene. It was not a speech in a crowded bar. It was a notarized paper we both signed in love and then met again in grief. It was keeping my voice level when I wanted to shout. It was a clause written by a tired lawyer many years ago that said, if we break this promise, the math changes. I keep one thing from the old drawer, not the photo of the hotel bar, not the call logs. Those I deleted. I kept a copy of the prenup. It is not a trophy. It is a reminder that lines set in calm moments save you when the room goes hot. It is also a reminder that love without trust is just nice paint on damp walls. Last weekend, I grilled on the back deck. Erin waved from her yard. She had a new planter. The dog begged for food and lost. The light hit the fence in the same way it did the first summer we lived here. I stood with a plate in my hand and thought about the first time I saw that green mug. How something that small could be a door. If you are reading this because you feel something is off and you want a map, mine was simple. Trust the quiet things, dates, receipts, patterns, the way someone's face changes when you set a file on a table. Make a plan in a calm room before you need it, then follow it when the noise starts. I did not win by hurting her back. I did not smear her. I did not burn down a life. I enforced a promise. I walked away when it was broken. I chose a piece that does not need a story to keep it standing.